Welcome everybody to another episode of The Cover 2 presented by Tigervision. I'm Patrick Neal with Grayson Mann. As we are every week, we are here to talk about football this week. Believe it or not, there isn't too much news, but there's a little bit of stuff. The NFL Scouting Combine, it really began today, but the drills and everything will start on Thursday. We've got broadcasting free agency, and we will be ranking also. We'll be ranking not ranking, but more so saying what we think each quarterback needy team should be doing in free agency / the draft. So
yeah, it should be a really good one. We're going to get through these two quick segments real quick, kind of cover what to expect, and then we're going to get into our quarterback carousel. So the Scouting Combine.
It is coming up.
It is the start of this. It has also been 2 years since there's been an actual Scouting Combine because of COVID and all the circumstances that are surrounding that. It's been more pro days, which are more spread out through the off season. So this is nice to get something really quickly because the Super Bowl was almost 2 weeks ago.
It really does feel kind of nice because of that extension of the season.
Yeah.
So. Like you said, it has been a lot more pro days the past couple of years, but we are getting the combine. All the prospects successfully, I guess, boycotted, not having to have a COVID bubble, which is good for them. So hopefully we get some good storylines that blow prospects out of proportion come Thursday and Friday.
This guy ran really fast. Time to bump him up 3 rounds.
It really seems like whenever somebody runs a really fast time, they never pan out in the NFL.
Or you just have like the Bengals take, who is that guy, John Ross?
Yeah, John Ross.
The guy that ran he broke Chris Johnson's record, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it was a 4.22. So.
That's still pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. Now he's the Giants' fifth best receiver or something.
Which for the Giants?
Which is pretty bad considering the Giants receivers scored something like 7 touchdowns combined.
Yeah. My favorite is when they get like the broadcasters and they in their suits and they're like, how much can you bench? And then you get Schefter benching out 15 and you're like, oh my gosh, this guy's jacked.
It's like the TikTok where they have it outside or the weights outside so people are just lifting it.
You have to zoom the camera a little bit closer onto Schefter's face so they can't see the two crew members just lifting it up for him. They're like, oh my gosh, Schefter, congratulations.
Do you have any favorite drills, anything you're looking forward to?
I always like seeing because I did in high school when I played football, is that combine receiver drill. You had to keep looking it's the rapid fire one.
How'd you do?
I think as I got older, I got better. I think it's harder than it looks, especially for having to concentrate on one, and then you have so many areas you have to look for. It's fun.
Did you ever run the 40?
I did.
What
My best time was a low 4.8. So not bad.
Solid. Better than me and my buddies have a joke. Better than Dwayne Haskins. He ran a 5.07. So
it's true.
You're faster than Dwayne Haskins.
I ran faster than Tom Brady.
Yep,
which
too.
For my private school is one of the faster times. So
yeah, solid.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Lost a little bit of my stride though.
Yeah. Do you think you're faster or slower now?
I think that I would be running. I don't even want to discuss it. Let's stop
maybe
talking.
Maybe we should go and do that.
Cover 240.
Yeah. We'll do combine drills and see how we do.
That would be. I don't want to embarrass myself though. I feel like you're probably going to be faster than me.
Maybe. I mean, I got knee issues, so maybe not. But
or I'll run fast and I'll pull something. It'll just be a disaster.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great. We'd have to stretch a little bit before that.
Yeah. What we do though before so we had a thing where me and 6 of my other best friends who played football with me, we had this speed camp thing where it wasn't voluntary or wasn't mandatory, and it was in the morning from 8 to 10, and so me and all my buddies were like, all right, we're gonna get super fast this year, and we got we started out in the 5s and we were able to get it down to 4. So we grinded.
Solid.
We didn't win a game senior year, but I felt pretty good.
Yeah, if you want to see the Cover 2 take on combine drills, comment, leave a like, leave a review.
Yeah, we need some actual comments to do it because I'm not getting out there to embarrass myself. Yeah. The Cover 2 Combine, presented by Tigervision.
But if we want to move on past the combine, we do have a little bit of broadcasting chaos, free agency, a whole bunch of commentators and color commentators on the market this year.
Yeah, I mean even ones that aren't even considered broadcasters like Sean McVay. Amazon apparently.
Yeah, Amazon's coming after people.
Amazon's making money moves.
Yeah, what was it? Herb Street they're going after? A few others.
For what are they broadcasting?
They have Thursday Night Football, I believe, now.
So is it like, do I have to go on Amazon Prime to watch Thursday night?
Yeah, it's probably something like you got to have a Prime subscription to have Thursday Night Football, or you can illegally stream it. I'm not saying you do that.
We do not condone illegal streams,
but wink.
If you do it, we can't stop you.
Yeah, and there's plenty of places to find it. So,
SportsSurge.com. What?
Yeah.
What?
Do you have any if you could get any two commentators together, who'd it be?
Okay, Gus Johnson's got to be one of them.
Yes.
Gus Johnson and Chris Fowler.
We stand Gus Johnson on
this. This is a Gus Johnson fan show. I would love to have Gus Johnson calling the Super Bowl. Can you imagine?
Oh. Who are you pairing him with?
I'm pairing him with Chris Fowler because I think Chris Fowler can tell a really good story, and Gus Johnson can carry the energy.
But the thing is, both of them
they're
are
both color. They're both like the play-by-play guys.
Yeah,
so it'd be a little bit of a
play. So what are they doing there?
I think Chris is calling the. I think Gus is calling the plays, and I think Chris is giving the color.
Interesting. I feel like that'd be a little bit. Like they might have some beef or something because they both can't do what they normally do.
All right, then we'll substitute in for the beef's sake. I'll put in Kurt Herbstreit in there.
Okay, solid. Two college guys.
Yeah.
If you could get, I don't know if this has happened before, but Gus Johnson and then Bill Raftery. If Bill Raftery had absurd football knowledge. And they could call a football game, even though Bill Raftery is a great color commentator.
Or you get March Madness Jim Nantz.
Oh.
And then you get Gus Johnson and just pair them together.
Yes. Create some sort of super hybrid commentator.
Yeah, that would be something.
I think basically Gus Johnson with anybody is great.
Gus Johnson,
and then I know he's a play-by-play, but get the Charlotte Hornets announcer.
Oh, Terry Two Beauties.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, those were funny. Just to so I'm a Celtics guy, and I'll watch they'll play the Hornets 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
And so I'll just tune in. I won't even consider going to NBC, the Boston commentary, because I just want to hear the Charlotte people go nuts.
Yeah, he is great.
They're so enthusiastic. You can just tell they love their job.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Troy Aikman, on the other hand, is getting a lot of money for just.
He is getting a lot of money.
He's sacrificing an iconic duo for $17 million a year. So. You do you, man.
What is Joe Buck going to do now?
I would not be shocked if he went. Well, I guess because he does multiple things. Because he does baseball, and he does, I don't know. He might stay, and they'll probably pair him up with who's the second crew at Fox.
I really have no idea. In all honesty.
Gus Johnson.
Yeah.
Get him in there.
Just bring him over. Bring Joel Klatt up to the NFL.
Joel Klatt is actually that duo.
He's very knowledgeable.
Put them in the. Give them more to do. Mm-hmm. They're a fun listen.
Yeah. But anything else on broadcasting before you?
Not much. I mean, this is the level that we've reached for. Because I honestly, we were going back and forth last night, and I was like, "What is going on?" I did a little quick Google search, and I was like, "Man, I envy the people that have to talk about something every single day." Because this time right now, you're grasping for straws.
You envy them? You envy that they have to do it?
No, I mean, I would love to be in that position.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I don't also at the same time would like that, just because that's a lot to prepare.
It is a lot to prepare for.
I mean, I'd love
You only got really a day to do it. So.
Yeah.
But what we are going to do is we have, I believe, 10-ish teams that we think should decide something, or that have a quarterback issue. So we're going to talk about what we think they should do and what, I guess, we think they'll end up doing.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a difference there, but not really.
This will kind of just flow. This is going to be more of our conversation.
Yep. So first team, the New York Football Giants.
Okay.
What do you say we do if
so
we're the GM?
I say if I'm the GM, if I'm the new guy, Joe Sheen, I think that you have two options. You either ride this one out with Daniel Jones, because it's technically, this isn't like a situation like last year where it's kind of Daniel Jones and Gettleman, that pairing. They're completely separated, so they could ride out a year with Daniel Jones, and if it's a failure, it's not really on them because it's not the guy they drafted.
Yep.
Or, and I know that you made an argument that this isn't a team that could win now, but imagine them going for somebody like Russell Wilson. Getting Russell in another big market is with the supermodel wife that he has, another big market for them. This is a pairing. That may just make sense to me that Russell Wilson could be on the move.
I don't know, dude. Like they have very little cap space. They're in like the bottom 10 teams regarding cap space. They've talked to, or it seems like they're probably going to try and cut or trade James Bradbury. I just don't know if this roster is strong enough to win with somebody like Russell Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson's a fantastic quarterback, but they're also going to have to give up a very large amount to get him. And I just don't know if this team is ready for it. So I think personally you give Daniel Jones that one more year with Brian Daboll. You see what happens. You know, maybe he takes some sort of leap similar to Josh Allen. I don't know if it'll be quite that large, but they aren't going to pick up his fifth option. I think it's already been announced. And, you know, you just ride out this year, see what you got at the end of the next year. You know, if you're the Giants and you don't do great, there's a better QB class. I think it's pretty fair to say next year, and you just take a guy next year.
Yeah, I think the Russell Wilson more or less was kind of like this could be cool to see, but I think the more realistic option is probably going to be let Daniel Jones kind of ride this last year out, because don't pick up his fifth-year option. You can just say, hey, it just didn't work out, and kind of like a Mitch Trubisky thing, just kind of let him go. Or you have next year, just draft a QB and kind of start fresh.
Yeah, so I think, do we both kind of agree that they're probably just going to go with Daniel Jones next year? I think it's pretty fair to say.
This is probably like the least controversial one out of all of these.
On to the Saints, the New Orleans Saints. Again, another team with a new coach, although Dennis Allen was already on their staff.
Yeah.
Last year, they had Taysom and Jameis Winston.
You said Taysom and we're like, ugh.
And Trevor Siemian, I guess.
Good God.
Yeah. So I think personally, I mean, they are in cap.
The double hockey sticks were.
Yeah. I don't know if we're allowed to curse at Tigervision, but they are not in a good place with their cap space.
It's not good.
You know, it might just be time to just let go of everything. Try and trade away as much as you can. It seems like you probably aren't going to have Alvin Kamara on the roster.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know.
The least that'll happen is he'll get suspended for a decent chunk of the season.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get Jameis Winston on a cap-friendly deal, maybe you run it back, you do exactly what you've done the past couple of years and restructure everybody's contracts, bring everybody back. And, you know, the NFC South is looking like it might be a pretty weak division.
Yeah.
And there's an opportunity for the Saints to get a playoff spot by winning that division. So if you're able to get Jameis on a deal kind of similar to what he was on last year, short-term, not very expensive, I think that's something you can go with, but I wouldn't lock. If I'm the Saints, I wouldn't lock myself into anything long-term because they could just as easily be one of the worst teams in the league.
I think you signed Jameis Winston to a deal that New England did in 2020 with Cam Newton, and it's very base salary. You could say, hey, we don't know how it's going to go after the ACL injury. Load it with incentives. Just say, hey, you take us to a Super Bowl, we'll give you, I think what New England is, they gave Cam $1.5 million guaranteed, and there was like $11 million in incentives that he could collect.
Wow.
Obviously, he didn't do that, but it ended up making it cap friendly for New England, and they had a quarterback that they could bridge over until they got Mac Jones. That is exactly what, and the Patriots weren't exactly in a cap friendly situation in 2020, hence their roster. This could be similar to what the Saints do and kind of have a so-so year in a weaker division. Let Jameis kind of feel it out with Jameis because you didn't get a full year with him. He did go 5-2 as a starter, so he's capable of winning you games.
Yep.
But it's just about that cap. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean they are getting Michael Thomas back.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. I just think as long as they don't go into the season with Taysom Hill as their quarterback,
They should be good.
They should be all right.
They got to stop this Taysom Hill thing. This is stop.
So I don't know. I think they probably end up signing Jameis or signing somebody like Mariota, Teddy Bridgewater.
Doesn't Taysom have like some ridiculous contract?
It's all pretty much non-guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
So they could cut him basically whenever they want to. I mean, maybe keep him on the roster, but
I mean, he's a good gadget guy. He's just not a good quarterback.
yeah. So I think that's probably what they end up doing. Signing one of them, maybe even draft a rookie as well.
Yeah.
They have, I believe, the 18th pick in the draft.
Oh, and they're in like the middle dead man.
Yeah, but not many quarterbacks are going to be going highly, I don't think.
This isn't a.
They should have a pretty good selection. So on to the Colts, another team that was fringe playoff, didn't quite get there.
The ghost of Trevor Lawrence.
Yep. So they had last season Carson Wentz. They still have him on their books. What do you think they should do?
Okay, I'm gonna get this. This might be one where we finally kind of diverge on it, but I say that you run it back with Carson Wentz. He went 27 touchdowns and 7 picks, and I know he's guaranteed to have a boneheaded play or a boneheaded mistake here or there, but I think Carson is enough, and this roster is enough. Jonathan Taylor kind of came into his own in the middle of the year, so you kind of start with that momentum with him. I say get him another receiver in the draft, and I think this could be a really dangerous team. T.Y. Hilton is aging, and each year it seems like he's getting worse, so I don't think that experiment's working. You could probably try to deal him off somewhere. I say you run it back with Carson Wentz. He's not terrible, and he's not the worst option out there. It's not like they're not in like the same situation or they're having to we know what Carson can be at his best. So I think that there's potential to run it back and really succeed with it.
I think Carson Wentz isn't an awful option. I mean, he's a pretty average quarterback. Like you said, it's kind of like someone like Garoppolo where you can have a few boneheaded plays in him. But I think if you can get someone like Aaron Rodgers somehow, Pat McAfee has a very, very good relationship with Aaron Rodgers. Of course, he played for the Colts. If you can get someone like Rodgers, you have a lot of cap space if you're the Colts. You can then go and sign someone like Davante Adams maybe as well. Mm-hmm. Or, if you get Rodgers, maybe you probably end up having to give up first-round picks, so you probably don't have a selection in this year's draft. But maybe somehow you're able to get someone like Godwin or a rookie receiver. And like you said, if they're able to get another receiver, kind of that X, kind of that number one option, it is a very solid offense, I think. You have a great offensive line as well.
Doesn't Rodgers and Davante Adams remind you of you're picking teams on the playground for kickball, and it's hey, we are a package deal. If you pick me, you pick him too.
Yeah, that was always a little bit frustrating if you were ever a captain.
Oh yeah. You're I want you though, but I don't want you. So it's kind of
you gotta waste your first 2 picks.
He's a good first baseman, but this guy over here, he doesn't really bring it to the table on offense.
Yeah.
He always kicks foul balls. It's really annoying.
But I think personally, I don't think Rodgers ends up leaving. I think he probably ends up staying in Green Bay. I think Green Bay is the best situation for him.
Yeah. Worst that Rodgers does is retire.
Yeah, but I think they probably end up running it back with Carson Wentz. What's going on with Jordan Love? What is Green Bay going to do with him?
I had a feeling if Green Bay was really confident in Jordan Love, wouldn't somebody be saying, letting anything leak out in the media, being hey, I mean, did you see what they did with Trey Lance? And they leaked those clips of practice of him throwing some pretty good balls. And then, I mean, we haven't heard that from Jordan Love. We haven't heard a vote of confidence from their GM. They haven't heard Jordan's our future, or, gosh, you should see Jordan Love in practice. I mean, I haven't really heard anything.
Yeah, I mean,
there's nothing really that inspires confidence.
He's kind of a sunk cost at this point.
Yeah.
Economics term. I'm
there you
currently in macroeconomics, so learn about that. But
Clemson education, guys.
Yep. Only the finest go here, I guess. But I think if you're Green Bay and you're keeping Rodgers, you probably, I guess, trade Jordan Love for. Who knows? I don't know what he's worth at this point in the market. It's been 3 years now, and
I think this is his 3rd year.
Yeah, this will be his 3rd year. So,
oof. Hey, the one game he's played,
I feel
put up 3
kind of
points.
bad for him, but it was not a great situation that he was brought into. So,
no.
But I think ultimately the Colts run it back with Carson Wentz.
Yeah. So for the Broncos. Okay, so they started
similar situation.
They have a similar. I don't think they're going to keep Bridgewater. I think he was always meant to be a bridge guy.
Yep.
And this is a classic. This is a situation with Denver. They have such a good roster. If they could get a quarterback that was even above average, they'd win 10, 11 games. So I have it on here. Go all in. Use that connection with Nathaniel Hackett and get Aaron Rodgers, and then get that package deal with Davante Adams. But it doesn't sound, based on what I've read today, that it's going to end up like that. That he's either going to stay or he's going to retire. Unless he decides to pull some Kyrie Irving type move and just move out of Boston and betray us and then go to Brooklyn. Maybe. Am I still hurt about that? Maybe a little. On another note, Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving are very similar.
They are very
similar
both weirdos. Players. Yeah, they are very similar.
They're both very zen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
you've seen that clip of Irving. He's like got I don't even know what they call it, but he's in the TD Garden. He's just like waving it around all over the court.
Waving what around?
I don't know. It was like a candle or something. I don't know what they call it.
He was.
It was like a.
He was, getting out all the demons.
Yeah,
in TD
whatever
Garden
they.
of Bob Cousy, and.
I don't even know what the heck it was. A lot of people were like, "What in the world is he doing?"
Yeah, Kyrie Irving is a character. So is Aaron Rodgers. But I think, this team has been. It's like you said. They are, especially skill positions. They are probably top 5 group.
They got such a good roster.
They have a very good roster, and this team has been deprived of a decent quarterback, above average quarterback for years now.
I think the best quarterback that
basically
they've had,
since Peyton Manning.
Since Peyton Manning, the best quarterback they've had is Teddy Bridgewater.
Yes.
The most average quarterback in NFL history.
Yep. So
love Teddy.
Like the GM George Patton came out today and said they're open to pretty much any QB option. Could draft somebody, could trade for a veteran. I think if, like you said, if they can get somebody like Rodgers, if they can get somebody like Russell Wilson, even somebody like Matt Ryan, who I think is an underrated option that could really solidify a roster and give a team that is needing a quarterback a very good option to look forward to. If they can get somebody like them, I think you're in a good position. I think also Denver is potentially a team that could be at risk for overpaying for somebody not that great.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They could pay
It's
for
tough.
I could see them paying for Garoppolo or trading for him, and then it just doesn't work out.
Who, by the way, they announced today will be needing shoulder surgery. He should be good before the season starts, but he might be knocked out a little bit during the summer.
It's always something with them. But we want to move on to the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, quickly, what do you think the Broncos are going to do?
I think the Broncos are probably going to. I don't know how aggressive they're willing to be within the trade. So I think that they'll probably get an average QB again and do what they do. But I think they'll probably draft somebody and get their guy for the future.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down too. I said they're signing another mid-tier QB, average QB that doesn't get them anywhere, and they draft somebody.
Yeah. So,
yeah, as you were saying, the new look Washington Commanders.
With SIG uniforms, I'm going to defend those. Those look pretty fire.
I feel like we got to wait until we see them playing
on the field. That's how. I know we're going off on a tangent here, but that's how I felt about the Rams uniforms. Like when I first saw them, they kind of.
I don't like the Rams uniforms.
They kind of look like soccer uniforms, but they've grown on me.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Rams uniforms. They're like weird gray, white. You don't know what color it is, and then I don't know. The blue and yellow are a little bit too bright for me. But yeah, Washington. I didn't hate their uniforms.
Yeah.
But a lot of people did. I thought they were all right.
Yeah.
Not too much to complain about, I guess. But yeah, what do you think they should do?
Okay, so I think this is one where this is a certain get a bridge QB and get a QB in the future. Kind of do both at the same time.
I'm reading what you wrote down right now.
Yeah, I was like, you should give a certain MVP a shot. Give Mitch a shot, please. Give Trubisky a chance to start again and not be under Matt Nagy.
I mean, the last time he played a game, he won an award.
Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong for the Washington Commanders? Give Trubisky a chance and draft a quarterback. Trubisky's a nice guy. I know that's not going to go into franchise thing, but Trubisky's a guy. He's a good presence in the locker room. He's been to playoffs twice under Matt Nagy, who was a disaster, and he's won an MVP. I have to stress the N part of that because he didn't win an MVP. But all jokes aside, I think a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo would be perfect here.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Garoppolo has been kind of projected to go to Washington, I think, for a while now. So I think he'd be a solid option. I don't know. I think if they can, I feel like they probably draft somebody. I think if they draft somebody like Malik Willis or Desmond Ridder, this team's is in a pretty good spot. They could go veteran and try and make a playoff push now, or they could go young because a lot of their core is still pretty young, but very, very good. If they get a veteran QB, they can draft another receiver, have a very solid receiving core with McLaurin, Lance Thomas coming back from injury, Antonio Gibson. I believe J.D. McKissick's a free agent, but maybe they re-sign him. They could really go either way. I think they end up drafting a quarterback. I
Yeah.
think that's probably what I would do if you can't get somebody like Matt Ryan, who I said earlier, Jimmy G.
We'll get to the Falcons in a second.
but-
We're going to start to get through these because I think we actually agree on a decent amount of these.
Yeah. Panthers, if I wouldn't, I don't know if, I don't know. They thought they had a playoff roster.
They
did
do have a
not.
playoff roster. It's just
Really?
they don't have.
Their offensive line is not great.
CMC when healthy, their defense.
Yeah, but he's not been healthy the past 2 seasons.
I know it's
their
a big
defense
if.
is all right, I
I
guess.
honestly don't think
They have to
a direction.
re-sign. Gilmore's a free agent. I wouldn't re-sign him.
No.
I think,
He's expensive.
yeah, I don't think you re-sign him. He's, 31 years old.
New England, honestly, is on the right here.
I think Matt Rule is in serious danger of losing his job. So I think they're another candidate of somebody who could potentially overpay for an all right quarterback because maybe he's trying to save his job because he has to get whoever this is. He has to get this next QB right.
He's desperate. They've gambled on Darnold.
Kenny Pickett is a potential quarterback that they could draft. I mean, he was formerly committed to Matt Rule at Temple, actually, before he decided to go to Pitt. But I think if I'm them, I draft a rookie, or if you don't like any of the rookies in this class, punt for next year. I don't think you try and make a playoff push because I just don't think this roster is good enough.
No, and I think this is one they're just gonna have to bite the bullet here and just let it go with Sam Darnold. But honestly, the further we get down this list, the better I think the situations get. Like the 49ers, I think they could do multiple things here. They could either kind of hold Jimmy G, keep him here if they really aren't 100% confident in Trey Lance, and hold for the best offer because they will get something for him. Because going to the NFC Championship, taking down Aaron Rodgers, that's got to mean something to somebody. So I think you can get pretty good value for Jimmy Garoppolo and start the Trey Lance era whenever you want. You got a great situation here. It's not a really lose-lose thing here.
I mean, I assume they're going to go with Lance this next season. I think it's pretty clear that they're going to do that. But he looked pretty raw in the games that he did play, which I guess he's got to get experience at some point.
Yeah.
But seeing that they almost got to a Super Bowl with Jimmy G, I wonder if you're the 49ers front office and their coaching staff, if you look at, hear me out, this isn't fully workshop, but what if they traded, along with trading Jimmy Garoppolo somewhere, what if they traded Trey Lance for Russell Wilson or somebody? And
I've heard this. Yeah.
Getting an upgrade basically on Jimmy Garoppolo to make another playoff push. This roster is win now.
I mean, they're 10-point dog or 10-point favorite on the Rams in the fourth quarter. They just kind of let it go.
I mean, I don't know. They don't have their next 2 first-round picks, I don't think, and it would be something that I don't know how many trade assets they necessarily have, but I think maybe it's just an idea. Try and trade Trey Lance for somebody. Pull a Josh Rosen. So
that would be crazy.
Maybe, but onto the Steelers.
This would be another place where I think it would be perfect for Garoppolo to go, and he'd be the bridge guy. It stinks for Garoppolo. He's become a bridge QB for his career. But this is a place where I think a quarterback will probably thrive the most. It's a solid roster, solid culture, foundation. Their defense is going to get better with Brian Flores. This could be one that Deshaun Watson, if they do their homework right.
I think if he goes anywhere.
I mean, with Flores there now?
Yeah, he has a relationship with Flores. He almost went to Miami, it looked like. If his situation checks out, I think.
Yeah, and that's a big
he goes to the Steelers. If he goes anywhere, I think that's where he goes. But I say if you can't get Deshaun Watson, I say just draft somebody like Malik Willis. Yeah. Mike Tomlin supposedly really loves him as a prospect. I say that's what you do.
All right. The Detroit Lions had Jared Goofball, or otherwise known as Jared Goff. But I think this is a similar situation. I don't see the Lions trying to trade.
I don't think they do anything.
I think they kind of let it ride out, and if there's they get the best available, and they just run it back.
Just keep building that roster in pretty much every position except for quarterback.
Yeah, because Goff's solid. He's fine.
I think they draft probably Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, or another offensive lineman maybe, and just look to next year, I think.
Yeah. So okay, the Browns are kind of going rapid fire here just for time's sake. This is a Cleveland team that's still really solid. I don't know if Baker. There's so many questions surrounding him because one day he looks like he's the number 1 pick in the draft, and the next one he looks like a total scrub.
Yep.
But I don't know if you chalk this year up due to injuries, or you just say, hey, if there's an offer on the table, let's get someone like Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson in here, because that would be a QB that would elevate that team and make that AFC North division unbelievable.
Yeah, I think you try as hard as possible to get somebody other than Baker Mayfield as your quarterback. Get some sort of upgrade. I think.
Do they film the Progressive commercials then?
Ooh, that would be tough. He would need a new deal, I guess.
At home, for real this time, with Baker Mayfield.
At home in free agency, with no job.
On the couch.
With Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
I think, look, there were so many Browns fans. The season ended so negatively for them, and there was so much hate going towards Baker Mayfield to end the season. I don't know if you're the Browns. Like, how much are you instilling hope with your fans if you go into the season again with Baker Mayfield? I get that the joke has always been the Browns have never had a quarterback. They have the graveyard, and Baker would be yet another name on a tombstone. But if you can, I think Matt Ryan here would be a great option.
Yeah. He's just really expensive.
He is very expensive, but I think he would be a great option for the Browns. If I'm the Browns, I try and get somebody to upgrade Baker Mayfield.
But I think they'll probably run it back one more time with Baker, and if it doesn't work,
he's got one more year.
Then you add it to the tombstone, and let's see what happens.
Yep. Real quickly, I guess we can touch on
Falcons, Seahawks, and the Dolphins.
We have Falcons, Seahawks, and Dolphins left. So Dolphins, I think they run it back with Tua.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel looked to really his phone call was kind of funny. If you saw the video.
You're a guy with resiliency. I like that.
It's like them filming him FaceTiming Tua, but not actually showing Tua. So I think they probably run it back with Tua one more year, even though it doesn't look like he has the locker room really at all.
No. Yikes.
It seems like a lot of Dolphins players don't really like Tua, but I think they probably run it back with him. I guess that's what you do.
I wonder if the Dolphins players know. Are they aware of the Tua turn the ball over?
Oh, that's a good nickname.
Are they? Have you not heard that one?
I have not heard it.
There's no way.
You learn something new every day.
There's no way, man.
I don't know what you do here.
You just need to hang out with my friends more then.
Yeah.
We every time Tua would throw a pass, it'd be like, Tua, turn the ball over.
That's a solid name.
We've been saying that since he was playing Clemson in the national championship.
I guess if you can upgrade if you're the Dolphins, but like that offensive line is garbage.
I would prefer as a Patriots fan that they don't.
I don't know what you do if you're the Dolphins. I guess one more year with Tua is fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fine.
Seahawks, I think they stick with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, unless they have an unbelievable offer on the table, like 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, then maybe you move off of him. But I think personally, Russell Wilson is probably still a Seahawk by the time the season starts. And I guess that's probably what you do if you're the Seahawks. I wouldn't, again, like you said, unless there's an unbelievable offer, I think you stay with them.
Yeah, and I think like the same thing goes for the Falcons with Matt Ryan, because I think Matt Ryan's pretty solid. I don't know what they'll do with Calvin Ridley because we don't really know. He's kind of gone just off the grid since about week 4. So his cap hit is $48 million, which is unbelievable. That would be brutal to any team.
But I believe there's only one more year.
Only one more year. So you could just go this next year, potentially draft a quarterback and let that process.
Let Felipe Franks cook.
Don't let Felipe Franks play the Patriots because he threw a pick 6.
Oh. Wow, that's a solid memory.
Well, I was there, so.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I think the Falcons are in a great position. Like they were 7 and what?
They were very competitive.
7 and 10.
Very competitive 7 and 10.
Yeah.
In the first year.
So I think they had a pretty bad roster talent-wise, but somehow they still got 7 wins. So, and the NFC South, like I mentioned earlier, is in a great is not going to be very good.
Is the NFC South going to take the NFC East as the worst division?
Yeah, that's the real battle. The real storyline going into next season is who will be the worst division.
Garbage fest of divisions.
But the Falcons, I think, are in a potentially very good position to win that division.
Yeah, I think you can win that division with 8 or 9 wins.
Yeah, it'll be like the NFC East 2 years ago.
The NFC East. There we go.
Yep.
But yeah, that'll do it for our quarterback carousel.
Yeah, we kind of sped run the last few, but that's pretty much all we got for the show this week. Yeah. Any closing thoughts?
The normalcy and the news will return. March Madness is coming soon.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for a bracket
Maybe we'll
contest.
do a bracket. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is going to be so much fun. It is officially March, so the chaos is here, and we will be covering it back in studio.
Yeah, I
ready
guess.
to go.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me. Thank you again for tuning in. Spotify, YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, review,
All the good
rate
things.
5 stars, do everything you got to do.
Check out the other shows
we
that
appreciate it.
Tigervision produces.
Yep, do that too. Thank you to Zach for producing, as always, and I think that's pretty much it. We'll see y'all next week.
Have a good day, guys.